Hopefully well today. Kicking off another week, brand new week. So we do have oil gap down last night about 2%. It did rally back to the strong positive side, tested all the way above 103. It's been faded since back down to about 98-ish. So it's been a volatile session for crude oil already. We'll see if it starts to retest the $100 psychological number again. There's a strong chance that it may. It's currently right back to the negative side. Crude oil still looks very, very strong. I'm curious to see if it closes above the 7-day moving average today. You do have gold and silver showing quite a bit of weakness. Gold underneath the 7-day moving average is a technical short. Silver also losing that 7-day moving average. It's a technical short. Looking a little bit vulnerable. The Dixie is trying to catch a little bit of a bid here. Software seems to be holding steady this morning. IGV is green. On the session, we do have Palantir earnings after hours. That'll be an interesting one for the complex. Duolingo after hours. Let's see on semiconductor. On semiconductor also reports. Semis are once again holding steady and positive while the indices are slightly negative on the session. Natural gas has been making a nice push off the lows, guys. This um, could be a bit of a bottom. You are trying to give that daily chart higher high here, so keep that on watch. This morning, SPY and IWM are weak while the Qs are holding steady. Micron continues to surge to the upside. See AMD pulling back slightly. NVIDIA seeing some strength. Quite a bit of a bid in these Ouster LiDAR plays. What's the news on BlackBerry today? BlackBerry popping to the upside. Woof, big bull flag break. Big mover. It wants to pop a little bit. Five minutes till the open. Anybody looking at anything, buying anything off of the open? Or shorting anything off of the open? Hmm. Micron's just a beast today. Fuck. GME's very disappointing. Looked like GME on Friday was going to be blasting to the moon, and then they come out with that big eBay offer, and it's just a straight dilution trade now. So obviously looking quite nasty. Quite nasty. The GME offer is more bullish for eBay than it is for anything else. So if you're wanting to look at eBay, that might be the squeeze candidate. GME is probably going to get diluted out. We were long GME and still have call options heading into that summer call options, but it's definitely seeing a dump today. I don't really like it anymore. A bit of utility to start the session. Semis are starting to come in a little bit. Software's still holding. Micron's still strong. Amazon's strong. SOXX is still green on the session. Intel starting to lose a little bit of momentum. Nvidia losing a little bit of momentum. AMD starting to roll down. Micron's just a full machine. Bull, 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 bull. ServiceNow's green. Marvell's still pushing. IGV's still holding steady, guys. See, SOXX is getting gobbled up here. Remember, big earnings for the market. 8.2, it's a triple, so we're looking at least 3% down. We'll see. Microsoft still getting bought up here, guys. It's actually made a nice red to green reversal. Intel seeing quite a bit of sell side pressure, down 1.73. Semis are still mixed up here, guys. IGV up 1.5%, flexing its muscles. Micron's still a full beast right now. Sheesh. Micron is crazy. Nice sell side pressure hitting your semiconductors. That seems to be flowing right back into software. Um, I think some SOXX, SOXS looks decent here. Micron's gone straight parabolic, but if that starts to come in, it's really going to hit SOXX. Semis are definitely seeing a rotation down here, led by Intel, led by Marvell. Nvidia is still green, AMD showing weakness. So I think that if Micron gives it up here, these semis are really going to roll. Nvidia might still try to hold 200-ish, but software seems to be the play today. And I think we could see more rotation out of semis today back into software. People might chase Palantir. After hours earnings, you got Palantir, Duolingo, the big ones for software. PLTR is huge for IGV. And then tomorrow, obviously, you got AMD, right? So AMD is going to be a big one. Intel's testing its pre-market low. Still got Micron's up 5%. What an absolute monster. AMD seeing hard sell side pressure. So it seems that people are rotating out of AMD into Micron ahead of the AMD earnings. Oof, Data Volt's cream today. BlackBerry still strong. Wow, interesting. UPS is getting smacked. Rivian smacked. Netflix coming in. Intel's really seeing hard selling, guys. Usually Intel is a market leader, and that's coming in quite sharply. GME down 4.8%. Trying to get a little bit of a buy program here. Let's look at eBay. eBay's looking like it still wants to go higher. Amazon's just ripping. Whew. Amazon, look at Amazon go, guys. It looks like Amazon's going to take out the high. Meta's weak, Microsoft's green, Apple struggling, Google struggling. Q's IWM SPY all week on the session. IWM is your lagging indice for the time being. Intel's getting straight hammered right now, guys. AMD as well, straight hammered. Some of the S&P 500. Nvidia, Micron still strong as frick. Look at AMD, that's coming in pretty hard. Still about $8 away from the 7-day moving average. Software still holding steady. IGB sub 1.4. CRM having a great day. Look at these semis, guys, coming in hot now. Coming in hot. Still don't want to lose the structure. The high and low range say for SOXX is pretty wide. Your pre-market lows all the way down here, that 460 zone. So we'll see if it wants to retest that lower boundary area. Micron still full bull, guys. Ripping to the top side. S&P still struggling here. IWM is seeing hard sell side pressure, guys. Tesla negative, Meta negative, Netflix negative. SOXX rolling over, financials rolling over. AMD down 2.5 while Micron's up 6, Nvidia's up 1. Semis are looking heavy though, guys. They are looking really heavy. Intel, that's starting to give up quite a bit of gains, down 3%, piercing pre-market low right now. It's kind of bearish for the time being. Software still holding. GME is clawing itself back here, guys. GME is clawing itself back here. So if that goes green today, that would be wild. That'd be pretty cool if it happens. Micron 577 up 6.6%. This thing is ridiculous. Look at MU, man. MU is just soaring right now. Gonna lift the semis alone, single-handedly. Wild price action. S&P still looking a little bit heavy. Microsoft looking bullish. IGV still holding. Tesla made a nice recovery back to the green side. Gold and silver still under pressure. Yields are strong today. The Dixie coming in. All right, WTI seems to be settling around 99.30. So if crude oil starts to perk up from this vicinity, we should see the markets get slightly rejected. Intel's trying to hold its pre-market low. Again, I don't like the fact that financials are red. That usually sends price action lower. Uranium stocks are catching a bit of a bid. Quadruple U, SMR, higher yen, that's showing great strength today. Cypher. Poet bouncing. BlackBerry still up 7, but off of its highs. Nvidia starting to rip. Thunder semis. Can't keep them down. Cannot keep them down. Semis are bouncing hard. Ferocious bounce. Ron's starting to see its first little red candle after a big 10-minute squeeze and push. Good morning, Renzer. You got the QQQ green while the IWM and SPY are lagging. Palantir still up 3.5%. Soundhound making it on the high volume. Is that one that I haven't really traded for a while? Ooh, Soundhound looks pretty good on the chart. Ooh, that's a nice daily chart on Sound. They're trying to lure people in with a bullish pattern on SOUN right ahead of its earnings. Damn. That's a nice daily chart pattern, guys. GME still trying to move. Poet back above that trend line. PLTR getting a big push. Man, this Nokia chart too is just gone bonkers. Crazy. ADT, that's under pressure this morning. Big gap down. Interesting. All right, SPY still hanging on to price action. Microsoft breaking out, guys, to a new high of day. Testing the high of its consolidation range. Microsoft into its gap window again. Looking fully bully, guys. NSFT eaten today. Microsoft's ripping right now. Looking like one of the stronger relative strength stocks, along with Amazon and Tesla. All right, so a pretty big bounce in Intel off of its pre-market low. Micron still consolidating at the highs. AMD is still draining here, guys, ahead of its earnings. So you have to wonder if if Micron starts to give up some of these gains, guys, it's really going to hurt these semis. Semis are still super saturated in the market. So if semis fall, if SOXX is down, 1 or 2% on a session, it's going to be tough for the markets to stay buoyant. It's going to need a lot of broadening out and participation from the rest of the market to keep it up. Rivian, that's getting clobbered, down 3.3. RTX, that's gone green. SPY is holding. Microsoft pushing for yet again another high. Nvidia seeing pretty hard rejection off the 201.75 area. Nvidia's hanging on to its daily 20 moving average right now. Micron's still squeezing. Holy moly. MU, you animal. Seeing quite a bit of selling now. 200. Seems that everything is flowing back into Micron, guys. MU up 7.76% and ripping. So Nvidia looks like it's going to roll over to the negative side. QQQ is still green while the Russell's being drained. SPY is pretty flat to negative. Apple struggling, down 1.2. Google struggling. Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla ripping. Netflix struggling. SOXX is still hanging on to just slightly green price action. Look at that S&P clawing itself back, guys. Oh my goodness, Micron. She's she is a beast. MU. Eating everyone's lunch. Financials are still showing a little bit of weakness, guys. That's always a concern for the S&P. Still a pretty big weighting. For now, though, tech stocks are hanging in there. Software doing some heavy lifting today. IGV now up 2% ahead of Palantir earnings. CRM having a great day as well, up 2%. Microsoft up 1.2, pushing and spiking. Microsoft breaking out here, testing 420. Beast mode. Beast mode. Marvell starting to see some sell side pressure. Micron still holding steady. Intel still getting drained here. Semis are still showing quite a bit of weakness here, guys. Indeed they are. Micron going for another new high a day. Microsoft seeing a little bit of rejection off the 420 zone. Semis are still holding steady. What the hell are you opening that for? Don't want that on there. It's looking really good, guys. Archer Daniels, ADM. Still looking solid intraday. Looks like it's going to break out and take out this high. Obviously, we're long already. Let's look at the week plays. Yeah, that's still holding steady. Hmm. IGV still showing strength, but Microsoft seeing quite a bit of selling now, back under 418, 417, 24. Nvidia is about to roll over to the negative side, guys. So we are seeing some more sell side pressure in semis. SPY still seeing a little bit of sell side. Nvidia about to go red. Google down 1, Apple down 1.3, Meta down half, Netflix struggling, AMD still struggling, and your financials, guys, JPM's, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're all struggling immensely. Semis are still showing their strength up here at the highs. IWM is back to the green side now. GME is still down 3.2%. Alibaba having a great day. That's up 2.5. IREN having a great day. That's up 10.5. SMCI holding steady. Rocket Labs is rolled over. eVTOL stocks are mixed. INVZ, let's take a peek at that. One's now coming in as well. UPS getting clobbered. Back under $100. UPS down 7.1% today. Filthy decline for United States Postal Service. How's FedEx doing this morning? Yeah, that's rocked as well. BTC still looks to be forming a potential topping tail. Still a little early. We'll see. Microsoft now getting hammered back down, losing the majority of its gains. Nvidia is now negative, guys. Rolling over. New low of day for Nvidia. AMD still struggling. Micron. Man, if Micron starts to give it up, these semis should roll. I gotta check these SOXX holdings. Is Micron now the biggest? Because this is crazy. iShares. Let's look at the iShares. Holdings. AMD, the biggest 8.1, Broadcom 7.9, Micron 7. I think Micron with this move is probably the biggest one today now. I would have to anticipate that. Huh. But yeah, AVGO also struggling. IWM guys sweeping the highs. S&P still holding steady. Pretty heavy here. SPY's holding steady. Qs are holding steady. Broadcom's now seeing some sell side. I'm pretty impressed with the price action here in SOXX. Micron is distorting things here in a big way. Big way. All right, Broadcom coming in a little bit harder now. Big squeeze. Oh, sorry. Markets are climbing back here. Dip buyers are coming in. AMD getting a pretty big dip buy as well. Okay. Yeah. Is it moving today? Probably. Software strong. Yeah, app loving. Nice push today. Really strong. Yeah, software, they're really giving software a pump here ahead of Palantir. You know, but we've been seeing a lot of software names dump on earnings. So it's going to be interesting to see if they decide to trap all this long liquidity in today and then dump software. It's always a risk buying, software is still in a significant downtrend. IGV, it hasn't really given us any sort of higher highs to trade against here. It's kind of been rejected off of this zone once, twice, three times, four times. And remember, a lot of these earnings, software stocks have dumped. So I really don't know what the hell they're going to do after hours with Palantir. I mean, it's going for its record revenue growth. It's still, if it hits that number, it's still showing pretty good growth. But again, it's been still posting record revenue growth really for the last 1, 2, 3 earnings here, and the stock has been so choppy. So it's anyone's guess. If you're gonna play earnings, understand it can go any which way, and it's probably best to hedge. Look at these semiconductors. Micron is just ridiculously crazy strong. Wow. SOXX is up 0.66%. Poly putting in their factory orders 1.5% versus the expectation of 0.4. And cute. Yeah, it's softening up crude a little bit here. Yields are still staying firm. Dollars mixed. Still seeing semis pushing. Micron new high a day. How strong this IMPP is. It's trying to break out for a new high here. IMPP looks squeezy. Give me that gap window, baby. Come on. RTX is still trying. Natural gas is also having a great session today. Interesting. To new intraday highs, or at least it's trying to. Intel, wow, almost going green here for INTC. That's wild. Strong semis. It's crazy. Nvidia still fumbling around, looking somewhat vulnerable. Microsoft has given up its pretty much its entire intraday move. That's not good for software. Google struggling. Apple just struggling. Bitcoin is giving up its entire move, guys. BTC really struggling here. There's a lot of important stocks that are giving up some of the gains here. Still seeing some saturation in your semis. Oracle strong, up 4.4. That's shaking and moving today. ORCL. Regional banks, they've rolled over. Home Depot getting clobbered today. HD. Nice day for Cisco, up 1.3. Caterpillar struggling today. CAT, cat. ASML, that's down 0.9. ARM is down 2.45. Adobe, that's negative. Archer's down. All right. S&P trying to lose its prior day low. Which way you gonna go, Spy? Which way you gonna go? Once again, semis are strong as ever. Ripping to new all-time highs. S&P's starting to lose a little bit of momentum here. Qs are still green. IWM the strongest. Nvidia, Google, Apple still down. Microsoft slightly green. Amazon pulling back but still green. Tesla still up 0.5%. Meta struggling today. All right, Micron seeing its first 10-minute red candle. It had a 30-minute pump off of the open. And now it's starting to come in. Not a bad short here, guys. Intraday on SOXX. I think the risk to reward has now to the downside. If you're wanting to short SOXX up here, guys, I'm going to jump into some $14 calls on SOXS for June 18th. Markets are still remaining A-OK here. Crude oil is still chopping around 99.50 zone. Netflix really struggling today. Micron seeing a little bit of selling. Dollar and crude oil are trying to perk up a little bit again, guys. Watch for more weakness into your S&P 500. Tesla's now rolled over to the negative side. Microsoft looking like it wants to go negative again. Crude oil, guys, getting a little bit of a pop here. Crude oil getting a pop. Rivian's getting smoked today. Tesla just got hit pretty sharply there. S&P being drained here. AMD back down 3%. Nvidia is looking for another new low of day. Meta just made a new low of day. Marvell's still having a great session. All right, decent bounce in NVIDIA. Software still acting quite well, guys. Microsoft pushing back up. IGV still holding 2% gains on the session. Crude oil hit back down, still negative. Yields are softening a touch here. Micron pushing back higher. Intel curling slightly lower. NVIDIA trying to hold its opening range low, 197.90. All indices are green. The Dow is struggling today. AMD still getting drained here, guys. AMD coming into that 7-day moving average. You might get a bounce there off of that 343 area. Not a bad little trade to try to take on the long side. Just be careful though, it is putting in a little bit of a bear flag here intraday. But there should be some support there. I might try to take it there. I'm going to add an alert there on AMD for a quick little long scalp. We'll see. Looks so. Great, semis are starting to come in a little bit more now, guys. More sell side pressure hitting AMD, draining here, guys. Coming into that 7-day. Interesting. It's getting rocked. Micron, Broadcom still holding steady. Nvidia trying to hold steady. Intel seeing more sell side pressure now. Now you got Marvell also looking weak, back to the negative side. Come on, these semis should give us a massive sell-off, man. They're still one of the more extended, saturated parts of the market. We're certainly seeing some de-risking ahead of AMD's earnings tomorrow. Down 4.42% today. Quite a bit of selling. Doesn't seem that money's just fleeing the stock market right now. It's definitely rotating once again. Software gaining a little bit of a bid. Small caps are capturing some of that semiconductor liquidity as well. But in reality, Micron is eating up all of the semis today. So I'd highly suggest you keep a window open for MU because if that starts to sell off, it is, I believe it's now the heaviest weighting in SOXX. It was in third place as of Friday. It had a 7.93% weighting. AMD was in first at 8.1, Broadcom in second, but with a move up of 8.35%, Micron's probably the heaviest in SOXX right now. And you can see SOXX is almost negative despite Micron still being up. So if the largest semiconductor in the basket starts to see selling, it's really going to hit these semis, guys. You are seeing some distribution under the hood of this market. Marvell coming in harder now. Broadcom, AVGO, maybe going for a lower day. But SPY's holding steady. Money's not just fleeing the market. That's relatively broadening out and showing some bullish price action. Oh, nasty spike down there, guys. Semis are seeing. S&P still holding steady. SPY still acting pretty well here, guys. Pretty well. Broadcom's now seeing quite a bit of selling, guys. AVGO. Let's look at ASML. That's still holding. Intel curling down. Marvell still looking somewhat weak. Let's look at your S&P here. SPY coming up into that pre-market high level. We'll see how it wants to react. AMD's almost at that 7-day, guys. There is a little bit of a bounce trade opportunity. IGV up 2.54%, acting very well. Microsoft back up 1%, looking like Microsoft wants to go be the strongest mag on the session. IGV still holding steady, pumping and jumping here. Palantir starting to come in. Microsoft still holding. CRM still looking bullish. ServiceNow, new high a day, ripping. TTD trying to participate. Duolingo still lagging slightly. How's GoDaddy? That one had a decent earnings. It's trying to push higher. AppLovin still shaking and moving. Adobe firming up, pushing, breaking out. Look at that IGV, guys, squeezing. Big spot here for software, guys. Nice potential inverse head and shoulders on IGV. Man, if Palantir fumbles this pattern on its earnings, fuck, that's gonna be crazy. But right now, IGV breaking out, trying to. It's definitely got some legs. It's definitely got some legs. You have to wonder if people are gonna take profits in their semis and start crowding back into software because it's looking very bullish IGV chart. Very, very strong. S&P 500, potential bull flag building here. You might get a pullback off of this kind of top of this channel, pre-market high. It's an aggressive shortable zone, but market's holding some bullish structure. IGV still ripping and roaring to the top side. Broadcom coming in harder now. Micron losing some momentum. Yep, market's piling into software, guys. The gap in software has been filled. Bitcoin having a nice session today. Again, it's still very tough for the market to stay elevated if semis sell, and right now there is quite a bit of distribution under the semiconductor chart, guys. A lot. I'm going through my semis, and it's showing quite a bit of weakness. If Micron wasn't up this much, this SOXX basket will start to sell. You got Nvidia red, AMD red, Intel red, AVGO. The top five are red. TSM still showing strength. SMCI still showing strength. Okta's showing some strength. Qualcomm's down 4.2. Lam Research is still holding. NXPI just started to roll over. ARM is down. Texas Instruments down. ASML down. AMAT still holding steady. Interesting. Interesting price action for sure. Yeah, BTC is trading with software. UPS down 9%, getting rocked, man. UPS is coming in hard. IGV still pumping at the highs. Man, that's crazy bullish. Crazy bullish. Nvidia going for a new low of day. Looking a little bit vulnerable. Potentially making a new low of day. Dow is still negative. SPY's your lagging indice right now. QQQ is your beating SPY, and IWM still your strongest. Microsoft, Amazon still ripping, while Meta, Tesla struggling. Google, Nvidia, Apple struggling. Netflix just turned green. Good to see Netflix trying to make a bit of a comeback. IGV still leading this market right now, up 2.94%. XLF is also firmed up, so that adds a bit of extra confidence for the bulls. Financials are trying. Crude oil is basically flat on the session. It's been down, it's been up. Very choppy. More selling hitting these semis. So it's a big tug of war right now in the indices. Semis starting to lose a little bit of momentum here, while software is gaining momentum. I still am a big believer. It's even with the software up about almost 3% on the IGV basket, it's going to be tough for these indices to stay green if semis roll over here, guys. You still have too much saturation in your SOXX ETF to keep. I don't even care what IGV is doing. It's very tough for the market to stay green with semis looking a little bit vulnerable here. Here comes SOXX rolling down a little bit. SOXX has now gone negative, down 0.14%. We are riding those $14 SOXX calls that we called out. We'll see what that one wants to do. Opening range low, looking to break down here. Still sitting on hourly chart support. Look at how we've grinded along this hourly moving average. It's just been one crazy support level for the semis. AMD still coming into that. Oh, I didn't get an alert. Did I get an alert? Yeah, AMD tagging 7-day moving average, guys. It still might go a little bit lower, pierce 340, but interesting spot for a potential long trade. I'm going to wait patiently. We'll see what it wants to do. Intel, that's still down 1.17, but getting a bounce. S&P still holding positive structure. S&P trying to flex its muscles, gaining a little bit more momentum. Crude oil and the Dixie are still looking a little bit flat and weak. ADM guys breaking out of a nice flag pattern. This trade is working out quite nicely. Archer Daniels, we put that on our member radar. And it's been basically straight up since we entered. Looking solid. How's wheat doing? Yeah, wheat's trying to bounce here. URA still showing positivity. IWM at the highs of the session, looking pretty juicy. S&P still looking bullish. SPY still looks like it wants the top of this channel, guys, which is basically around 722 and change. So SPY still holding positivity. IGV still looks like it wants to test 90 bucks. A nice strong hourly candle close for software. Not too much daily chart resistance if it can consolidate above this $89 pivot. Your next real daily chart resistance is your EMA around 90.40. But again, if software sells, IGV is not immune. It will likely see downward pressure if these semis really start to give way here, guys. Pre-market low on your SOXX is around that 460 and change level. Micron starting to lose a little bit of momentum here. Crude oil trying. WTI is back to the green side, still underneath the $100 psychological barrier. Peter added UPS around the daily 200. Let's take a quick peek at UPS. Actually, I'll look it up on the bigger chart here. Oh yeah, it came into that. Just missed, just kissed it. This is a tricky pattern, this UPS one, because it's shaping up one fat head and shoulders pattern. It has not triggered yet, Peter. Um, but honestly, it looks like UPS could go a little bit lower. You might try to stabilize here and build maybe a bear flag, but I would say that 95 is a bit better. And if you lose that neckline, shit, this is looking gnarly. If this head and shoulders triggers, I mean, UPS is going to new 52-week lows. That's the scary part about it. But if it holds that daily 200 moving average, I'd say you can long it at. If you get any sort of daily 200 moving averages closes below, you got to protect that trade, maybe with some short dated put hedges if you're in shares. But again, if one of the reasons UPS is also seeing more weakness is crude oil, guys. I mean, even though it's off of the highs, WTI looks like it's going to rip face over the coming weeks again. It's still looking crazy strong. I know there's talks about Iran reviewing the 14-point proposal again by the states, but yeah, it's a tricky environment. Still think the equity markets are underestimating the effects of the crude oil market. Small pullback in IGV, retesting 89 bucks. S&P is still trying to hold some positive life here, guys. Semis are bouncing off their opening range low, so it's still holding. Whoa, Chelsea's losing to Forest here? That's crazy. What is going on here? IWM is loving this extra liquidity that's sloshing around from semis. Loving life. SPY is still ripping here, guys. She's ripping to the top side. Crazy. S&P ripping to the top side. So the indices are still holding quite steady, guys. Pretty remarkable price action here. Things are acting a-okay. Micron's still holding up 7.2. AMD did get a bounce off that 7-day. Anyone took that trade, you're in the driver's seat. Don't let that go against you. Semis are holding their opening range. SPY still trying to push to the top of that channel. Trying to break out here. NVIDIA sitting right on the daily 20 moving average. It's tested on Friday, bounce, testing it today. It's trying to bounce and hold, even though it is looking still vulnerable. Yeah, natural gas, surprisingly acting very, very well. Ever since it had that bullish inventory report last week, natural gas has been acting quite well. Um, I still have a pricing going lower, but it's showing some strength. I will give it that. It's definitely showing some strength. I thought it was going to crack down and capitulate that lower boundary support, but like I said, I've been doing a couple videos on it, and I said as soon as nat gas clears this high with conviction, it's going right for gap fill. So 306 a big level. It's your volume shelf. Previous gap fill where price action broke down, but yeah, it's a good little technical breakout here. You know, nice little falling wedge here. Boom. Holding. You're into Boyle and UNG calls? Nice, nice. Just protect that. But you probably have a run this week into the inventory report on Thursday, so it's looking pretty decent here. I don't mind I don't mind that trade right now. It's showing quite a good signs of life. And you know, this is where a large part of the industrial economy is run on natural gas. So we've had crude oil rip higher. If natural gas starts to go through a bit of bullish price action, that's going to put some downward pressure, more downward pressure on the economy. We've had pretty cheap natural gas prices ever since the Middle Eastern War has started, which has shocked quite a bit of people. So if we start to have natural gas and crude oil run, that's basically our whole entire energy infrastructure. That's going to see inflationary pressures. But markets are still holding steady. Semi's getting a nice bounce. IWM still ripping. QQQ still ripping. Amazon just a filthy beast, up 2.73%. Netflix green, Tesla green, Meta green, Microsoft holding up 0.9. IGV is starting to roll a little bit here, losing that 89 handle. So a little bit of a liquidity sweep through those previous high pivots. Now IGV coming in slightly over the last 20 minutes. Quietly grinding higher here, guys. The US dollar also bouncing intraday. IGV starting to lose momentum. Still got a lot of sell side pressure in JP Morgan, Bank of America. Your big banks are struggling today, as well as Fargo. Bitcoin still testing 79.5, looking pretty strong. Big bounce in your semis. Yeah. Saying I think with WTI flying, there could be a harder look at natural gas as cheaper alternatives run data centers. Yeah, it's definitely a valid case for people to explore alternatives to the crude oil space. Again, I have a contact and his workplace basically has the ability to flip their boiler system from running their industrial plant on oil or natural gas. And right now, They've been full blown running natural gas for 3, 4 months now, ever since crude oil has been spiking. And that is the case with a lot of the industrial plants globally. The facilities that have the ability to flip back and forth from crude to natural gas are definitely using natural gas. And in fact, they have a buyer specifically. I've mentioned this before, but they have a buyer specifically that works at their place that watches natural gas and oil spreads. That's it. That's his full-time job. And he has the ability to tell the plant to, all right, switch to oil. All right, switch to natural gas. So there's definitely a bit of industrial demand for the natural gas space. But that being said, there's still a huge surplus. Natural gas production's at record highs. You've had the Venezuela production come online recently. The oil's still a lot slower to flow from Venezuela, but the natural gas production from Venezuela, Trinidad is starting to flow quite immensely. But yeah, you're right. There's definitely the industrial side, people looking to use natural gas more so. And again, that $3 level is where kind of break-even price for a lot of companies, a lot of the producers in the natural gas space. And historically, buying sub $3, 12 to 24 months out, you'll make money. Just the question is, are you buying shares? Are you buying short dated options? So, but all right, IGV bouncing nicely off the 89 handle. Your US dollar's also trying to pop here, guys. Dixie is popping. Gold still struggling. Silver still struggling a touch. VIX is still up 1.8%, give or take. 10 and 2-year yield are still trying to push higher. Fuck, did anyone take Amazon, guys? Because this thing has just been a one-way freight train. I mean, holy moly. Amazon is crazy. Remember, its earnings high spike is all the way up here around 277 and change. So earnings high spike, maybe that's where it wants to go. No problem there. You know, there's bullish and bearish around the natural gas space. Like I said, production is at an all-time high across the landscape. So that means we have excess supply, which is one of the main reasons why natural gas hasn't performed with crude oil during this Middle Eastern war. So just understand that there's record supply levels. We have bundles, oodles and oodles and oodles. ADM guys still punching new highs, new highs. Let's get this is the wheat play, guys. Archer Daniels is a wheat play. Another wheat play is ticker BG. It's been putting in a nice amount of consolidation on the daily. If you're wanting to play wheat specifically, I would look to enter near this zone. I would have 2 or 3 different buy levels down here, but wheat has broken out, guys. Discuss that one. We'll see what happens there. SOXX is seeing some rejection off of that prior day high. It's still green on the session. Micron's still a powerhouse. Netflix is turning the corner and trying to push a little bit. Nike just sucks ass. Oh my goodness. Nike cannot seem to hold any of its gains here. Nike looks weak again. Lululemon is just a dog shit. Holy shit, Lululemon. 132? My goodness. My goodness. It's crazy. SPY still hanging on. Crude oil now at 0.6%. WTI is trying to get above that psychological whole number. Ladies and gents. Yeah, so I think the thesis around Nike, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Everyone's saying Nike is going to be bullish into the World Cup. But in reality, the World Cup for Nike means a whole bunch of CapEx spending. You can think about it from a commercial side, sponsorship side, free swag. So the amount of free product that Nike's probably giving out across the World Cup is going to be excessive. So you have a higher CapEx expenditure period for the World Cup to promote their business, as well as the new kind of CEO transition plan that's still underway. So I think that that's primary reason why Nike has been lagging. Um, is it's approaching a higher capex expenditure period. Now, post World Cup sales, right? The following 3 months after that is technically when you should see, whether people are buying jerseys or soccer balls or shoes or whatever it may be, attire, that's probably where you see Nike gain some more traction is the post World Cup revenues. So I think that it makes sense to start building into it as the World Cup has started, and then maybe even more so after. Intel big push higher. SoFi having a really good session today. That's up 1.5%. SOFI back above $16 with strength. Micron still pushing. Crude oil is quietly grinding higher here, almost up 1%. WTI crossing the $100 psychological number here again, guys. You can already see there might be some news here. Big rejection there on SPY off of pre-market high. That happened right as crude oil popped a little bit above that $100 area. Nvidia still looks super weak, cracking opening range low. IGV starting to come in a touch here. Yep, crude is looking decent here, guys. XOM is still negative on the session, but it's rebounded off of the lows quite nicely. AMD back down about 4% or so. Oh shit, there's news around the UAE having to respond to missiles. So perhaps Iran is launching strikes. If anyone can confirm that, that is the news headline that I just saw pop across the wire. UAE missile defenses responding. So that means that someone's launching missiles, likely Iran. Crude oil did pop a little bit. It's now up 1.2%. The markets may start to roll here if that is a true headline. So keep your eye on crudes. It's a fake headline. Thank you. We'll see though. Crude oil is pushing, looking pretty bullish intraday. Nvidia is still looking weak, struggling immensely here. Crude oil still pushing up 1.2% now, guys. Still trying to pop to the high side. You see rejection in SPY, guys. Crude oil popping now up 1.5% and starting to move, guys. IGV losing momentum. Nvidia did print a new low of day. SPY's just flat now. QQQ, IWM are still green. We'll see if SPY loses opening range high levels. Pre-market low for SPY is all the way down here on that 716.50-ish. Big bounce off of that prior day high. Sorry, prior day low. Big dip buyers coming in with force. Need to be a commentator. Nike makes a cup, then a handle, then creates a lower wedge, breaks out of the wedge and goal. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for the World Cup, guys. I love it. I love the World Cup. It's gonna be a good one. And the S&P getting a big buy program. Defending prior day low. S&P still defending a prior day low. Very strong. Semis still look a little bit vulnerable. Crude oil still holding above 100. IGV still holding. SPY's still trying to hold that prior day high, but seeing a touch of sell side pressure. Nvidia is trying to defend its prior day low, so that's helping the markets from not falling too quickly. My puts here don't look bad, guys. You can keep a tight stop loss above this 10-minute candle high. But SPY puts don't look bad here for a little bit of a tradable opportunity. Market's looking a little bit weaker here. Crude oil is still pushing. But the market is pinned right now. They're trying to set up a big bull flag pattern, a little mini inverse head and shoulders. Obviously, it hasn't triggered yet, but they're trying to set it up potentially. Oil still up 1.37. Natural gas still pushing as well, up 2.72. S&P seeing some more sell side pressure. Crude oil guys still ripping here. WTI. Big spot here trying to break out yet again intraday. Took some INFQ. What the hell is that? Is that a leveraged short play or? Oh yeah, okay, leveraged short. Oh no, inflection. It's a new quantum. Yeah, that chart's looking good. INFQ looking pretty solid actually. Nice observation there. It is looking good. Yeah, probably I'm putting in this INFQ. I've actually I think I might have seen it before, but really the first time I'm looking at the chart. Yeah, it's looking pretty decent. All right, SPY's starting to roll here a little bit. Big spot for the semiconductor ETF as well, guys. It's been holding this hourly 7 moving average really since it had this vicious bounce back to highs again. Software seeing a little bit of sell side. They just do not want to let these indices fall, man. Still holding prior day low like a champ. If you lose that, I think we could have a hard flush into this 10-minute EMA. But for the time being, they're holding it. Holding it steady. Crude oil is still trying to push, now up 1.7%, guys. Amazing to see these markets still holding. S&P holding up like a champ. Spot here. Big spot. Crude still pushing. S&P trying to lose that prior day low, guys. S&P starting to come in. Crude oil pushing above 101 now. Starting to move. Netflix still negative. Tesla's rolled over. Meta's still struggling. Amazon's still looking strong. Microsoft still up 0.75%. Apple down 1%. Google down 1.2%. Nvidia down 0.5%. Big spot opening range high for the S&P. IGV's trying to lose that little resistance pivot zone around 88, 80, 89 bucks. All right, SPY really starting to roll here, guys. Looks like we're going to get a little bit of market deterioration here. Nvidia going for potentially new lows here. Semis are breaking their opening range. Hard sell side pressure hitting the tape. Nvidia new low of day. Crude oil still looking pretty bullish. S&P not looking too good anymore, guys. Maybe a head and shoulders formation hasn't triggered. Has not triggered yet. You got a very weak left shoulder, but this starts to roll here. Still trying to elevate it, keeping it propped up here. Nvidia really coming in sharply. High 7-day moving average is at 717, guys. We could be heading there. 717, 7-day moving average. We're looking heavy, guys. Things are breaking structure here. Here we go. Here we go. Nice sell side pressure hitting the tape, guys. Here we go. Come on, dump it. Dump it. Let's get that head and shoulders. 10-minute EMA, you might get a small bounce here if we flush hard. You also have that gap fill. Remember, there is this gap fill here that I think they're trying to target for liquidity. Come on, baby. Go, 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 go. It's a pretty big gap down there. Go, 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 go. Flush it. Micron. Crude oil is still ripping now up 2%, guys. And falling. Pushing the tape down hard and fast. NVIDIA new low of day. Completely melting. A little bit of support at the neckline. Still moving. Nice dump there. Man, look at that sell, guys. That's a heavy sell. That is heavy. Beautiful. Nice job if you caught spy puts there. Damn. That was filthy. Beautiful. Head and shoulders is in effect, guys. Head and shoulder. Crude oil now up 2.65% and moving. Whoo! We seeing some hard selling here. We are seeing some hard sell side pressure. Look at that. SOXX starting to move higher. I like it. I like it a lot. Drop it down, baby. Send this to the graveyard. NVIDIA is just capitulating. Micron, imagine Micron goes negative today. How deep it would push these semis, guys. Look at SPY ripping to the downside. Holy moly, eh? What an animal. Look at that S&P, guys. Let's get it. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Dump it. Dump it down. Head and shoulders is in effect. NVIDIA, just complete destruction on NVIDIA's daily chart now, coming in pretty sharply. Um, Look at that. All right, we're hitting the lower boundary trend channel here, guys. So there might be a little bit of support here before it looks like we go lower, but that's a nice drop. It's a really nice drop. Pre-market low was just tested there for SOXX, SOXX, pre-market low, top. Fire erupts at the petroleum industrial site following a drone attack. Thank you very much. I appreciate that headline. Yeah, that's not good. Crude oil, guys, now up 3%. Man, oh man, oh man. How the hell is XOM doing? I haven't looked at that one. It's probably ripping right now. Where's my XOM? Where are you, XOM? Where are you? Yeah, energy stocks. I was doing the weekly sector review and XLE just looks exceptionally bullish, man. I don't know. XLE looks like it's going to new all-time highs. And then imagine, so here's the thing, guys. We got natural gas now starting to rip and above, or it's testing $3 now. And you have crude oil. If we get the 1-2 punch where I'm telling you both energies, commodities are strong, this market's going to get cooked. Literally. Big portion has relied on cheap natural gas during this invasion. So if natural gas holds these gains and starts pushing, I mean, oh, this market could go down quite sharply. You got crude oil ripping. Man, look at SPY down. Down she goes. S&P. Drop this market like it's a rock. All right, so 4-hour chart support on your SOXX is coming at 458. And there's still this big gap fill down here at 438-ish. But wants to hit that. That one's been left open. IGV now starting to roll over, guys, to the downside. So that's another big one coming in. Broadcom still seeing some heavy sell side pressure. Micron still holding. Crude oil well above 102. Dixie spiking. Yield spiking. VIX just moving. AMD, guys, now down sharply as well. AMD is just sitting right on its 7-day moving average. Broadcom starting to see a little bit of sell side. Big bounce on your S&P. Recalls don't look bad, guys. You might get a really big push here in XLE, specifically with natural gas now helping and oil strong. Hmm. Continuation sell side pressure. Software really breaking down here. Crude oil still pumping and jumping. Markets are starting to roll heavy to the downside. Till now down 1.4. Nvidia is still testing 195. Crude oil above 102.40. All indices are red with your Dow underperforming. You still have Microsoft and Amazon green, but Microsoft looking a little bit more vulnerable here. Tesla rolled over, Netflix rolled over, SOXX rolled over. Definitely a little bit of support off of this channel, but it does look like the S&P still wants to go lower. You might need to consolidate a little bit. So SOX retested its pre-market low already. It's holding steady and bouncing. SPY hasn't even hit its pre-market low yet. So I wonder if SPY is going to test it at some point today. AMD still down about 5%, sitting just underneath its 7-day moving average. IGV still losing a bit of momentum. AMD coming down for more sell side. All right, guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. Still going to ride my SOXX. Put call position, SOXX call position. We're in the $14 calls. Anyone that took S&P 500 puts, you're in the driver's seat. I would expect that pre-market low is going to be retested, but this neckline here on SPY has triggered. Could take us all the way down to 713.40. That could play out today, guys. Okay, that could play out today. Crude oil strong, natural gas strong. You got a recipe for energy inflation. All right, guys. Hope you all made some money today. I'm going to keep the Telegram stream going, but I am going to have to end the YouTube.